heard about it over at Elizabeth. I'm a full-time teacher at Elizabeth Learning Center. I get out at 5th. Anyway, to pull up to Beaudry and see all these cops and all of your students just, I mean, I can't even tell you. I stood on a corner and I saw a couple of our district folks there looking like a truck ran over them because they couldn't get the kids to do what they wanted them to do. And the kids were so together, so smart, so full of energy. I stood on the corner and I started laughing. Just with, you know, I mean a belly laugh. I haven't laughed like that in a long time. A couple of the kids thought I was laughing at them. I had to walk over. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing. This is so great. I mean, the militancy would be wonderful to transfer over to not just you guys, but all of us teachers throughout LA, because you guys are the head of the storm, right? You're ground zero, whatever we want to call it, for the devastation of public education. So I just wanted to come give you guys a heads up and answer some questions about what processes we're going to be going through here. And I know what I talk about because I went through it last year. That doesn't mean it's going to be the same for teachers this year, but certainly in a lot of ways it will be. Okay, half of you will not return. At least half of you will not return, correct?
Yeah, right.
Okay. I guess the whole strategy of what you're doing is a whole nother conversation. What kind of strategy people have for coping with what's happening here at Huntington Park. Certainly the kids got Daisy's attention. Certainly the folks, you guys here at HP, got Yoli's attention. Are they going to change their mind? No, because they have an agenda. They're worse than Cortinas ever thought about being. Daisy, you got to remember, was one of the first principals trained by the Eli Broad Administrative Academy. It's up in Monterey, I believe. And their agenda is more charter schools, break up the teacher unions. It's all about making money, okay? So, let me catch my breath. I was just over at Ellen Ochoa. Nice school, kindergarten through 8th grade school. Nice place. I had never been there. Beautiful. And they had everybody's heard about you guys, okay? And your kids went a long way to getting that word out. There are at least 3 other schools going through what you're going through. They're middle schools over in South Central, right up through the middle of the traditional African-American community in Los Angeles. So one of the reasons these reconstitutions are happening, it's all about punishment. And they're punishing Marguerite Lamont, the only pro-teacher candidate or pro-teacher person on the school board. Man Middle School, and this was orchestrated by Ms. Garcia. They're in court fighting that because Cortinas didn't call it, the school board did, and they don't have the legal right to do this. They're pushing things on a lot of different levels. Hi, Chuck. Chuck is here. He's a teacher at Roosevelt. He was with us at Fremont, too, so he might be able to help, too. So Man Middle School, Muir Middle School, they were in public school choice, too. Both of these schools, public school choice, they turned down their plans and said, no, we'd rather reconstitute you. Okay, and the other school is Burbank, which was in public school choice 1. They decided, well, we didn't like how the first year went. The teachers are fighting us too much. They want compliance. For those of us who've been teaching a long time, when Daisy says we can't keep doing things the way that we've done them, correctamundo, that means, from our point of view, actually collaborating with teachers. They have never done that. They don't want to acknowledge the year-round schedule, the overcrowding at Huntington Park. They don't want to acknowledge a legacy of mediocre administration. They don't want to acknowledge the lack of supplies, etc. They don't want to acknowledge anything. They're just looking for schools where they can come in and do this action and show everybody who's boss. Okay? So, let me get to specifics because I know you guys got questions and you don't want to be here all day. Half of you will be displaced, correct? Yes. Okay. Displaced, not the end of the world. What was that?
Or more.
Half or more.
Half or more, yeah. And we'll get Mark's bumbling nut if we fight. We'll get to the strategy in a minute after we take care of some of the nuts and bolts. Will you receive a paycheck over the summer?
Yes.
Yes. Everybody will keep receiving a paycheck because you are, the way they do the trash thing, you will receive, everybody's going to get a paycheck. Okay, you're employed by LA Unified. At Fremont, 90% of us ended up at schools that worked out just fine for us. Maybe 10% of us ended up, some of them ended up at, oh, we didn't mention Jordan, they're being reconstituted too.
Some of our refugees are over there.
Yeah, because some of, they gave that school away to a charter school and the mayor. And then Clay Middle School has been given to a charter school illegally, and we're in court fighting that. We're in court fighting for Jordan. Are we in court fighting for HP? No, and I don't know why, other than they think that the lawyers and union leadership don't think just fighting reconstitution on itself is enough of a cause. I happen to think it is, because some of the issues that they're fighting at Jordan and Clay are exactly the same types of things we're doing here. With No Child Left Behind, there's a certain process that has to be followed. The contract doesn't stop being enforced. It has to be followed. You have to get proper parent input, which they didn't. You're making me nervous, man.
I know.
Okay.
That's
You
like
always
the old
make,
days.
yeah. We taught next to each other for 12 years, so he knows how to
Screw his head.
yes. What's your favorite thing to tell me?
Just, I usually call him Mr. Krabby Pants.
Mr. Krabby Pants, when I start getting... Okay, so, first thing you want to do is you can start applying for jobs at other schools on your own. I'm hoping with the new UTLA leadership that you guys will get the backup we didn't get at Fremont. For instance, displaced teachers have to be hired before any other teachers can be hired. You guys understand what that means?
Yes.
Do you guys have any teachers from Fremont here? No, because Raul refused to hire anybody from Fremont. He went ahead and hired other people, and that was against the contract. We raised a stink about it, and that's one of the reasons I ended up at Elizabeth. They said, okay, we'll start placing you other places, but we're not putting you at Huntington Park High School. No Fremont teachers got placed here. Which was
a Berlin Wall around.
Yeah, they did.
and some schools did too. And they're going to tell you that you have to be placed in, so you can go look for your own job anywhere. Now, as far, we'll get human resources down here in the next couple weeks to explain it from the LAUSD point of view too. They will have to inform you, give you a list, the website, where the jobs are. And they will start trying to place you at different places too. There's going to be a real push to try to keep you in District 6, or to make you go to Man or Mirror or
Like swamp, right?
yeah, this kind of horrible thing. Like, you're such a bad teacher, and we're going to send you where all the other bad teachers were, and you'll probably become a really good teacher if we just switch the school you're at. Okay, so again, they're supposed to place displaced teachers before any other transfers are allowed. Let's say somebody like from Westchester High puts in for their transfer, which has to be granted if they can go find themselves a job, let's say at Uni High. Uni High has an opening for an English teacher. They say, yes, we want you. Not until all the displaced teachers have been hired can any of those kind of transfers happen. Was that enforced last time? Not very well. Do you have choices? Yes. You're supposed to be able to, at some point, they're going to try to tell you, you are going to such and such school, you have to go there. You have one turn down. You have one school you can say, no, I don't want to go there. I turned that down one time. We're hoping again that UTLA stands strong on that. For the most part, they did follow that with Fremont people, but some people really were forced to go to other schools. Okay, so you have the right to go to a school in a reasonable geographic distance, reasonable is the word, from your home or from HP High, right? They can't all of a sudden say you're going to El Camino High out in the valley or some middle school out in, far away. Sylmar, yeah, thank you. You're not going to Sylmar unless you live out by there. They can't make you do that, okay?
And they pay my expenses for living out there?
I don't pay my expenses now.
Yeah, and the thing that most people there are people retire. There are job opportunities in secondary all over this district. Like I said, their HR is going to try to keep you in this neighborhood and keep you in 6 and or 7 because these are the harder schools to staff. Does that make sense?
What website do you go to find about those things?
Well, the LAUSD.
LAUSD.
Yeah,
it's called,
Teaching LA?
Teach LA.
I went there, there's only like some,
No, it is only May. It is only
It's
May.
going to start changing shortly.
Yeah, yeah.
What I did last year, because I was displaced and I kept getting calls to go to RFK, the new $500 million structure over on Wilshire, at the private schools, and I knew that wasn't my first choice, so I kept not going there. And I finally, sometime very late July, maybe early August, I started downloading. There's a place that has on the UTLA or the LAUSD website with all the lists of all the phone numbers of all the high schools and all the middle schools. And I just started cold calling. I would talk to anybody I could, principal, assistant principal, coordinators, anybody. And I just said, do you have a place for a Spanish teacher? Do you have a place for an ESL teacher? So you can do that on your own. You can start now, but it is just May. So everybody hasn't even declared whether they're going to be there or not. So they won't necessarily know their job openings now. But you have the right to go and just find out. Find out from friends who work in other schools if there are job openings where they work.
One of the reasons I asked Chuck to come here today, I was at Fremont for 24 years, and I know many of you have been here for a long time, and this is your home. Fremont was certainly my home. Don't ask me why. And Chuck was there a long time.
It was our trailer park.
We were loath to leave there. Whatever was coming, we were ready to handle it. We love the kids. We love the neighborhood. That's where we wanted to be. But there is life after HP. It's worked out real well for, like I said, about 90% of the teachers at Fremont. We're in contact with a lot of them. So I think that's an important message to come here today with, that it's an opportunity to move on to other situations, that the opportunities out there may not be as good as last year because there are these 3 or 4 other schools that are being reconstituted, but none of them are secondary schools. Don't forget that not all administrators look down their nose at those of us who've taught in places like HP or Fremont, that they know that you have been teaching in a situation that's difficult, and you really, if you've been a successful teacher, they know that you know how to teach, and it carries a lot of weight.
This is a very important question that everybody here wants to know. We've been told that, I don't know how many got hired back at Fremont, but 30 of the teachers that did get hired back quit. And the main reasons they quit were what? It was just complete chaos.
Okay, and we had 240 teachers, or 239.
And then dropped it to 219 when they were fully staffed.
Okay, so over 100 of us did not reapply for their job. That was our strategy. We felt like, hell no, we're not going to participate in this farce. And this isn't going to be our school. But we respected people who did reapply. 140 teachers did reapply. They picked 100 of them. The 40 people who were not brought back had, if they had the least little hint of independent thinking, they weren't hired back. What has happened at Fremont is, and I don't know if they're going to have time to do that here, just totally wipe out everybody, which they did at Fremont. Because at Fremont, half the teachers were first-year, half of the teachers right now are first-year teachers or long-term subs. Every kid has a long-term sub. They couldn't get enough people to go there.
And yet they told the district, they told the media, oh, fully staffed, yet there are classes, there's a chemistry class right now that has 50 to 60 kids.
Yeah, let me answer his question. And as the school year started, the principal, Mr. Bully-Darris, was that his name, Bully-Darris?
I have another name.
Balderas. You mean the one where you put no in front of his name?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we're doing our comedy routine. Excuse me. He said anybody who's unhappy, we'll get them out of here right now. Well, in the course of the first semester, there was at least 30 teachers who left, who were transferred out. And they found them places, and some teachers, they had to go find their own. There's openings all.
Was that teacher initiated or by the?
What was that?
Were they forced out or
Yeah.
not free will?
They didn't like the atmosphere. It's extremely oppressive.
The word was toxic.
They've had one union meeting that Chuck and I were both at over there. There was 5 teachers showed up. About 5 minutes into the meeting, 3 teachers got up and left. They were all scared. They haven't had another union meeting the whole year. They have all kinds of illegal things going on over there, but they won't fight back. They have faculty meetings before school, after school. It's just a very tough environment, no matter how much you love the kids or love the school. It will be tough here. I salute all of you who think you want to stay and give it a go here, or think you will get rehired.
But this will not be your school. This will not be what you remember it, even right now. It will be completely different. And you will be seeing people living in fear, because you will have a bunch of new folks come in who are going to be the TFAers, who are going to be the first years, and they will salute when the principal walks by.
2 and 3. I'm going to go here. He had a question.
Were those transfers teacher initiated, or the principal or the administration decided to send them?
No, it was strictly volunteer. If there was at least 30 teachers, I got calls from maybe about half of them. How do I get out of here? And I said, go talk to the principal. The principal told them, you'll have to find your school. I do know of a couple openings, but basically it was teachers who got on the phone or with the website. During the course of the school year, openings do come up at places. Like one teacher got placed at Bethune Middle School. He was very unhappy, and a month later he was over at Crenshaw High because something opened up after school.
If we start cold calling and say we get accepted at a school in the valley, do we need to fill out the teacher-initiated transfer form, or we just automatically?
You're automatically on the displaced list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
If you choose not to reapply and, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
When's the application date for the application? When are you supposed to reapply?
Hold on. Hold on. We'll get Claire and then over here. Hold on.
Chuck, on Monday you gave us some specifics that really highlighted what it was like to work in Fremont. You talked about broken promises that the administration gave to people just to keep them back, just so they would reapply, and then they broke those promises right and left. The class sizes were huge. You talked about new grading policies for every F.
Yes.
Can you give us some of those specifics so people know what it's going to look like and feel like?
If you
Okay,
didn't
this
take
will
an
be-
auxiliary, they asked you to transfer.
They had to work off track.
Yep.
And
This is not going to be HP. You have to get that in your head. I apologize for wearing this today,
That's all right.
but there is a reason why. I actually carefully select my wardrobe, even though it looks like I live in a trailer park. One of the things that ended up happening to me, this was my second interview. I was adopted immediately. People in the main office would ask me, oh, where are you from? Fremont. Oh. And that's the reaction I got. And my principal was very good about, oh yeah, no letter of recommendation? Yeah, I heard. The word is out.
the administration would not give us letters of recommendation, anybody.
And my reason for, showing up with this, there is life.
Yeah.
after a school where you've been a long time. There is like, I'm having a ball. It's like my first year of teaching, only I have experience. It's that exciting.
So what's it gonna be like at here? Like, what's it been
It
like
will
at
be,
Fremont?
you will see very large classes. I can almost bet, money that you will see. Actually, I probably can't. You will
And
see
this is while
insanely
Fremont
large
still has their
classes.
TIA money.
Give us a number.
We're talking, like for social studies, we were normally 40 anyway, so you're looking 50-ish or more. Chemistry classes, foreign language classes in the 50s. There's the idea.
There was a major statewide audit of Fremont and about the money from years, but this year specifically.
149,000 in KIA money that wasn't documented properly, that they
And
just
if you
don't know where
don't
it
have
went.
enough experienced teachers, which you won't, you will lose KIA. There'll be KIA here for next year, and then I don't know
And then
how
watch
they'll.
those class sizes
She
climb.
had a question,
Yes.
Georgia.
Some more details though, what it's gonna be like? They were forced to work off track?
Yes,
Did the track
because they
be
didn't
changed?
have enough teachers, even though they claimed to the media, oh, everything is fine, don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Everybody was being forced into work off track. There was several teachers I know who said I was threatened with having my track assignment changed. That if I refused to work off track. So they worked off track.
Every time I went to Fremont to help, I got a phone call that night or the next morning from President Duffy asking me, well, why were you at Fremont? Cortines wants to know. Why do they care I was there? Because I was going to organize some rebellion, or I don't know. It was just crazy. She had a burning question.